like many kids, grew up with Disney. Funny enough, I actually grew up after the Disney Renaissance in the 90s, but I got the benefit of having the entire collection available by DVD sales. Yes, while many of you got to experience booming scenes like the stampede in The Lion King on the big screen, I got to view it how it was truly intended. In 480p, full screen, with scan lines on them. Look, I know it looked way worse, but it's nostalgic to me. This is movies. No joke, I love going to my grandma's house because at her house, she has a TV that she's had since like the 70s. It's so old, I love it. And to add to that, she has this tiny little TV in her bedroom, like tiny. It's the size of like my laptop screen.
Sometimes I will just stand here and watch television for hours. I love it. I love this TV.
And she calls it the TV with the good picture. Oh, I love old people. Anyways, I figured when I would start a new channel, I would start with something I love, like Disney. And what better way to start with Disney than the first ever Disney movie? I'm not actually sure I've ever seen this movie before. I know that might sound crazy. I mean, it's Snow White. Everybody's seen Snow White. I feel like this is one of those movies I've never actually seen, but just absorbed through pop culture osmosis. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I play video games. I have a general understanding of media. While I don't know if I've ever actually sat down and watched this, I feel like I've seen the movie before. But does this movie hold up today? I mean, this movie was made in the 30s. The 30s. Good God. This movie's almost 100 years old. What? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at it. The movie actually begins with a storybook. And look, I know I'm gonna sound kind of dumb being amazed by every one of these like Disney tropes and seeing where they came from, but like, I grew up with the parodies. I grew up with the Shreks of the world, okay?
Pull back the gossamer curtains to find her.
What?
So it's just wild to me. I know that makes me sound so young. I'm sorry. But yeah, I grew up with stuff like Shrek. I grew up with Enchanted, the stuff making fun of these old movies. So I don't know. I just wasn't expecting to immediately get, Disney trope right off the bat. Once upon a time, there lived a lovely princess named Snow White. Her vain and wicked stepmother, the queen, feared that someday Snow White's beauty would surpass her own. Wait, the queen is her stepmother? They really hit every Disney trope in the first movie. Again, this might sound dumb, but I sat down to write this script because I watched this whole movie and I kind of just didn't really pay attention to the book opening scene. I was more mesmerized by the fact that it was a book opening scene, So like, I watched this whole movie and didn't process the fact that the queen was her stepmother. I feel like that was unnecessary. In all honesty, I kind of like it better if she's not her stepmother. Like, the queen is just a random hater for no reason, like just lives in the same town, is just like, nope, I hate that one. So, she dressed the little princess in rags and forced her to work as a scullery maid. A scullery maid. Yep, totally know what that means. Like, let's just, okay. Scullery maid. In great houses, scullery maids were the lowest ranked and often youngest of the female domestic servants and acted as assistant to a kitchen maid. Got it. Each day, the vain queen consulted her magic mirror. Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? And as long as the mirror answered, you are the fairest one of all, Snow White was safe from the queen's cruel jealousy. So we get the classic opening scene of the queen asking her mirror who the fairest of them all is, which it's a nice scene, and I do feel like I need to mention the Mandela effect, but I don't even know if it really counts anymore because everyone knows about it.
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
But yeah, she says magic mirror on the wall instead of mirror mirror. Funny enough, I actually kind of like magic mirror better. I feel like it rings better. Mirror mirror on the wall, I don't know. I like magic mirror better. The mirror, of course, says she is not, and the queen decides to kill Snow White, which one thing I do appreciate about these old movies is just how straight to the point they are. Like, no wild extra plans like, oh yeah, I'm using this girl's hair to keep myself young. It's just, nope, I want to murder her. That girl, I want her dead. Here, her heart, put it in this box. That's not even a joke too. Her plan is literally to have one of her henchmen murder Snow White and bring her heart in a box. Jesus, dude. Another thing I kind of liked is the fact that the guy in this movie, wait, does he have a name? Okay, he's actually just named the prince. Cool. Anyways, wait. No, not cool. Hold on. The prince. He's a prince. The evil lady is the queen, and Snow White is her stepmother. Is this movie all just... I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube. I'll just say it like this. Is this a movie about, family love? Anyway, I was gonna say that I kinda liked that the prince meets Snow White in the beginning of this movie. Sure, it's only one scene, it's not much, but I genuinely only ever thought the prince came in at the end, like kissed her and rode off into the sunset. You know, just that was it. So the fact that they actually had a scene earlier on in the movie, it's kind of nice. And actually, the vibe of this scene is a little bit more lighthearted than expected. I was fully just expecting this to be a love at first sight kind of thing, but actually they do a pretty good job of it just being cute and flirty. We're just gonna pretend like the ages of these characters are totally fine and not questionable at all. This is an old movie. I'm not touching that topic. Got it? Cool. But yeah, I like the scene. It's not much. The song isn't super memorable, but it's cutesy. And I feel like that's just kind of this movie as a whole. It's not great, but it's cutesy. Well, except for the parts with the queen. So the queen's henchman goes after Snow White and can't find himself to kill her, which is great, you know, good. I know it's minor, but yeah, the queen was asking him to cut out a 14-year-old's heart. So... fair that he can't do it. Also, I know this scene would have absolutely terrified me as a kid. The animation is really well done. I want to credit this movie as a whole. It actually still, for the most part, looks great. Just a few wonky faces throughout, but for the most part, very pretty movie. But I was dying of laughter throughout this whole segment. I can't even explain why. Something about going from the earlier scenes of this movie where it's just Snow White, cute, singing with fun little animals, to just everything going wrong for 30 seconds was so hilarious. And just her face, it was just... I know this is not meant to be funny, but I loved it. She gets saved by some cute little animal buddies, and oh, this is the moment Shrek is parodying. Oh my god, I know that makes me sound so like, oh, that's where this comes from. Like, I know, I get it, I understand. The song is nice. Whistle While You Work is probably the only song in the movie I feel like plays to Snow White's voice. Kind of why it's the only one that I feel like holds up today, at least from her. Again, sure, it's a little too cutesy, and it's just like with little animals. You know what my feelings on this movie? I feel like this movie plays very well in short bursts. Like, yeah, I can watch the Whistle While You Work scene, and it's fun and cutesy, and you're reminded of old classic Disney. There's a problem, is from this point on, the plot of the movie kind of stops. We'll get to it in a moment, okay? She finds a house and basically straight up breaks in. She decides to clean the house, which again is played as cutesy and adorable, but that's just straight up creepy. You broke into these people's house. The movie at this point moved at a pretty decent pace. You know, we're about 25 minutes in. Everything I've explained is held up for the most part, you know, pacing wise to modern storytelling. Yeah, this is where the movie stops. Basically, the rest of this movie is just Snow White dicking around with the dwarves. And don't get me wrong, it's cute, but there's really just not much of a plot happening for the rest of the movie. Here, you want me to summarize the rest of this movie? Here we go. The dwarves sing. They meet Snow White. They become friends. They sing together. The queen decides to go kill Snow White herself. She gives Snow White a poison apple. Snow White dies. The prince shows up, kisses her, and they ride off together. The end. How long did that take me to explain? 10 seconds? 15 seconds? Yeah, that's the last hour of this movie. Every song, every scene just kind of drags from here on. But genuinely, there really isn't much for me to say about the plot. I guess I can just focus on the stuff with the queen. You find out the henchman of the queen brought back the heart of a pig to fake it that he killed Snow White, so the queen believes Snow White is dead until she talks to her mirror. She gets mad and creates a potion that transforms her into this old hag, which is cool. You know, fine plan, make yourself look different so she can't recognize you. Other idea... make yourself look like a nice old lady since you want to win Snow White's trust. Oh, wait, yeah, Snow White's the most gullible person alive. Duh, I forgot. The queen makes a poison apple, walks her way over to Snow White, which, another addendum to the plan. Hey lady, maybe when you're transforming into an old lady form, do that a little bit later. Make your walk first. You got old bones. They can't handle it. This scene with Snow White and the queen is kind of painful because of how obvious it is that she's evil. I get it. They're trying to show Snow White as innocent and gullible and blah, blah, blah. That's all fine. But then why is the dude 31 years old? Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. The queen dies. She accidentally yeets herself off a cliff. I don't know how I feel knowing the dwarfs just watched her die. Like they witnessed a person dying in front of their eyes. And yeah, technically Snow White dies too, but like, come on, she comes back and her death was like just going to sleep. The queen fully splatted on the ground. They showed vultures staring at her. Those dwarves are traumatized. And yeah, the prince shows up, kisses Snow White, and they ride off together, which yeah, happens in 30 seconds. It's rushed, but it's the classic happily ever after. So does this movie hold up? No, not really. There are certainly things I gained by watching this movie for the first time. Little plot points I never knew before, fun things I never knew specifically came from this movie. But would I recommend watching this today? No. Like I said before, you pretty much get the vibe if you just watch a few scenes. Unless you're doing what I'm doing, you know, wanting to watch every Disney movie from the beginning, it's not worth it. For me, I feel like I got everything I needed from Snow White from the Kingdom Hearts games. Hey, thank you so much for watching. It'd be awesome if you sub to the channel. It helps me out a lot. I also have all my other social medias listed over here on the side and more videos right there. If you've watched a few more, that'd be great. Please. All right, peace out.